Alright, so I'm gonna do another video about therapy, in particular about this company and their ad campaign, and how this company is just really like sneaky with their ads and how they do it to dupe men into taking therapy and just basically having like sheep go into the meat grinder willingly. Just how manipulative this campaign is, and here's how they do it. So they get this like really good actor. I mean, gotta give credit to what credit's due because he does a really good job in portraying what a lot of men are actually going through today. But what the real outrage is just how this ad campaign tends to sell therapy as the cure to all of this, which is not, and it would actually, in my opinion, would do more harm than good. But let's watch this ad campaign first, and I'll commentate on it.
What do you want?
Want a job that I don't hate?
Well, a lot of men feel this way, of course. We all don't want a job we don't hate.
Want to do something that matters? But I don't know what that thing is.
Again, lots of men feel this way. We all want a purpose in life, and the reason why we all feel lost and have quarter life crisis is because we spend K to 12 just being stuck in our desk, and our creativity is suppressed, and we're mainly raised by female teachers, which they all prep us for just a typical desk job, which are mostly dominated by women. And obviously, us being trained to do these desk jobs, we fail to get these desk jobs because let's face it, a lot of these desk jobs are female dominated, and they tend to like choose their own gender, so they kind of like block off access to it, and in turn for us like being prepped for desk jobs, and historically it was factory jobs we were prepared for, but nowadays it's mostly desk jobs, hence why the prolonged sitting and the rigid routines. We sacrifice our creativity, we sacrifice our like health and just everything for just to get grades and to get through school, and in turn we graduate not knowing what to do, and society itself, they just don't want to give us a break. They just don't want to be patient with us men. I mean, women on the other hand, they're more patient with them, but for us men, we don't get as much patience.
I feel like I want somebody to tell me exactly what to do.
Again, this is because we spend most of our time in K to 12, and we're in the toxic system that tells us that failure is not an option, and if we fail, then we're terrible people. We don't deserve respect, and we grind ourselves to debt, and in turn, it's just the trauma from that system is what's really affecting us. Again, it's not our fault we feel this way. It's the system that's the problem. Society needs to change. We don't need to change. But unfortunately, this ad campaign is telling us that therapy is the cure to all this. And from my experience, therapy tells me that I'm the problem, and I just got to change my way of thinking. I got to change my mindset. Especially like cognitive behavioral therapy, which is the most common therapy. And if you don't know what cognitive behavioral therapy is, here's how I sum it up. Let's say you're in a situation where someone gets really angry or someone just makes you unhappy, and cognitive behavioral therapy trains your brain into thinking that, oh, maybe this person's just having a rough day, he has nothing against you. Even if the person is saying things against you, cognitive behavioral therapy wants you to train your brain to thinking that they have nothing against you, they're just having a rough day. Which to me, that's really messed up. And I don't understand how they could get away with all this. Oh, I also want to mention that BetterHelp is one of those therapy companies where therapists could just do things remote all the time. It's not face to face. Here's how it works. You put your information in, and you just say what you're going through, or like your gender, like how old you are, just everything. And then the website just matches you up with a random therapist. And then who knows where that therapist is going to live, but thanks to the internet, the therapist could just conduct a session remote.
I want to stop feeling like if I take one more step, I'm just going to fall into a pit forever.
Again, that's thanks to the society we live in and how toxic it is and how it traumatizes us men. We're conditioned to thinking that failure is not an option, that we have no room for mistakes, we can't be ourselves, and if we make one mistake, we deserve the worst out of us. I mean, this is all ties in with the feminist agenda of like Me Too and everything. Just how we cannot or not allowed to be not perfect, and how we can't be so-called creepy or whatever, or we can't be just can't be like whatever makes them uncomfortable. And literally just one small step we can make into society, we could lose everything, like everything we worked hard for, heck, even our lives. Again, it's a society problem, it's not our own problem. We can't change ourselves.
What do you want to eat?
And there you go. That's an example of, like, let's say you talk about your problems with a so-called friend of yours or just anyone. Or if you want, like, go by Gen Z terms, mutual. They're gonna shut the conversation down, and it's worse than what this guy is. This guy is pretty lucky that this guy is only like asking him, "Oh, I'm only asking you what you want to eat." But here's how it works if you even dare to mention your problems to someone. They're gonna tell you to go to therapy, and worse, they're gonna tell you to get a life, or they're gonna call you the I word. That is if you're a man. If you're a woman, they're not as bad to you. They're gonna listen to you more.
Oh, pad thai.
Yeah, so 2 orders of pad thai. Yep, that's everything.
And he says, and the commercial says, want someone else to talk to. Yeah, right. You're gonna have you talk to some random person who lives who knows where, like the other part of America, or heck, maybe in the another part of the world, like Timbuktu. And for the most part, they're gonna be shallow to you, and they're gonna be gaslighting you all the time. It's gotta be the same experience as talking to someone who just says things like "go to therapy" just to tell you that to screw you, and I don't want to hear your problems. It's gotta be the same experience, believe it or not. Okay, and there's actually a second video of this, and this is a bit longer. It's not the same as the first one, so let's get into this.
What do you want?
Wow. I want a job that I could be proud of. And I want my parents to stop calling me for tech help. I want to fall in love.
Well, a lot of men want that, but believe it or not, here's the reason why they want to fall in love. Because for the most part, society does not treat single men well. They don't portray them well, and society like has more respect for men who are in a relationship, and that's messed up to me. And to me, that's why a lot of men want a relationship. It's not necessarily because they want to be less lonely or they want to fulfill their like natural needs. To me, it's more because what society wants for us men. I mean, notice they don't really do that to single women. I mean, if a woman is single, then she's called a strong, independent woman. If a guy is single, then he is called a joke. He is shamed a lot. He's shamed for not keeping up with the Joneses, and that's a really big problem. And that is only exacerbating the problem and just making things worse for us men.
I do. Sometimes I feel like I just want someone to tell me exactly what to do. I want to be more confident and less scared.
Of course, a lot of men want to be more confident, and again, this all ties into like our experiences growing up as kids. We're scared because when we were in K to 12, we were scared of failing. We're scared of making a mistake. We're scared of not keeping up. We're just even scared to go to school. But again, it's not our problem. It's society's problem. We're not the ones who need to change. We can't just change our mindset. That's for the most part. Just change our mindset is only like a band-aid, and the band-aid is only gonna burst in a couple days. Because ultimately, that is not the root of the problem.
Sometimes I feel like I'm on an island and everyone else is in these rowboats with their full lives rowing somewhere, and I don't have a boat. I'm just...
Because here's why I feel that way. It's because we are in this toxic system that shames us for not keeping up with the Joneses. We're not allowed to be late bloomers as men. Heck, there's this comment on like this one video I saw, and it's about like how it's hard to get into new things because we are shamed as newcomers. I mean, just new activities, anything, because especially as men, we're like it's hard to get into new things because like cliques form and they're really exclusive. I mean, especially us men. And that's just another proof that how toxic society is and how society shames us for not keeping up, how it shames us for not starting early enough. Really, sometimes I just cannot breathe living this society.
Stuck. Forgotten.
I mean, what do you want to eat?
Oh, just the pad thai.
So the chicken satay, the mango salad, and 2 orders.
Alright, that concludes everything. I honestly, screw this freaking company. Like, screw them. Screw them for exploiting men's issues and, and showing a false picture of what therapy actually does to men. Like, tries to sell it as oh, if you're lost in life, you need therapy. Oh, if you're depressed, you need therapy. Oh, if you're lonely, you need therapy. That's the problem these stupid companies do, and and at the same time, when I go to therapy and I tell and I say it makes things worse, people say, oh, therapy is not supposed to solve your problems. Like really, these companies really disgust me. Like they're grifting and how they make millions off the backs of struggling men. Because let's face it, that's who they're trying to sell this to. Trying to sell this to desperate men who who grew up and we lacked like role models. We lack people who would like guide us properly in life, and that's what these therapy companies are pandering to. These men who are like lost because like we were chewed up and spit out in a system that doesn't like us for who we are. A system that does not respect our creative side. Anyways, thanks for watching.